Welcome to another of our Sportingbet World Cup videos. We're all about the group giveaway here. It's our big promotion of the World Cup. We're asking you to pick the 1-2 in all 8 groups of the World Cup in the correct order. And if you do that, you could win up to £100,000. My colleague here, Mark O'Hare, is going to take you through all 8 of the groups and tell you his 1-2 in each of the 8. We'll move on to Group C now, Mark. And the favourites here are Colombia, the hipster's choice. Yeah. It has to be said, that's for sure. Have they got, how big a chance have they got here?
They have got a chance. I think their chance or cracks are beginning to appear, especially since the end of the qualifying campaign. They started the opening show for the World Cup at 300 to 1 4 years ago, went as short as 18s, back out to 28 to 1 now, which is more a realistic price for me. Falcao, of course, the obvious injury doubt, who's likely to be missing. He scored 9 goals in qualifying, a huge icon in Colombia on and off the pitch as well. Can't underestimate how big a blow that is to lose him. He's also absolutely integral to Jose Pekerman's tactical team selection and the way they play their football too. Jackson Martinez and Carlos Bacca, 2 players who've made a name for themselves in Europe, have come in to replace him and not really done that well. Neither scored in qualifying either, and so we can't underestimate how big a blow Falcao is. There's also various doubts over form and fitness of certain players, especially at centre-half, when you've got a 38-year-old captain Mario Yepes alongside a 35-year-old Luis Pereira. Both were ruefully exposed by Tunisia, of all teams, in March, which has got to be a concern. On the flip side, they went through qualifying with the best defensive record. They conceded just 13 goals, won 4 games away from home, and they only lost 3 games in 21 now under Pekerman. So they have got form. Definitely, yeah. They're only they're located in Sao Paulo. They've got a good draw as well, so all their games are sort of within easy reach of distance as well. I think Group C is the hardest group to call of all groups. I think Colombia are rightly favourites at 7 to 10. I wouldn't be putting my money on them. I even think 3 to 1 on them. Failing to get out of the group is a little bit big in such a tight group.
Yeah, it's a fascinating group, Mark. Like you say, very, very open. Let's move on to the Ivory Coast. That, you know, aside from the last decade, really, that we've been talking about, we've been hyping up, we've been praising. They've had 2 dreadful draws in the World Cup, 06 and 2010. Of course, this time though, they've got the decent draw. But have they got the players, Mark?
They have. Well, in certain positions, they're a very unbalanced team, and they've sort of got a reputation now as chokers as well. 5 African Cup of Nations, they've gone as clear favourites and bombed out every time. Unbeaten in qualifying, scoring 15 goals in 6 games, which looks very good. 5 points clear of Morocco. Their playoff win against Senegal wasn't as convincing as probably the result suggested. They've only lost 4 times since the last World Cup in 41 games, 2 of which were friendlies as well. But I'm just not sure that the balance is right in the team. Of course, up front you've got Didier Drogba on his last hurrah, that golden generation, Gervinho and Salomon Kalou either side. But it's defence which is such a concern. You're looking at Sol Bamba and potentially Kolo Touré, Didier Kazakora, who's mainly a defensive midfielder, protecting that back line with Boubacar Barry in goal. He's a dreadful goalkeeper, probably the worst in the competition. They're basing themselves 2 hours away from an airport as well, which is just mindless in my eyes. Looking at the prices, a 9 to 10 to qualify, 19 to 5 to top the group. Neither really make too much appeal to me. 4 to 5 exiting at the group stage probably does. Under 3.5 points is 23 to 20, and that's probably the bet I'd be having. Will they win a game? Maybe. Will they win any more? Probably not. Okay,
interesting. Let's talk about Japan. Now, a lot of, I've had a few people on Twitter and various other sources hyping up Japan. This could be the year. They qualified perennially. They got to the last 16 4 years ago. How do you rate their chances in Group C here?
Oh, I love Japan. I think they're absolutely fantastic. I think they're in the same category as Chile. More of a dark horse than Chile. More of an unknown quality. They started their campaign finishing 6 points off Uzbekistan in the first phase, but second phase they won by 4 points. But they did fail to beat Australia home and away, which is a slight concern. But there's a real growing confidence that this Japanese side can equal, if not better, their last 16, the best ever result in a World Cup. The best players are playing in the best leagues. They're a very settled team. They know how they're supposed to play under Alberto Zaccheroni too. They're highly organised, really quick, really high pressing game as well. They're awkward opponents, but I think again defensively they're a bit shaky. They struggle at set pieces. They haven't got that natural centre forward to score them goals, although they did score 9 times they conceded 9 times in Confederations Cup last season. They entertained us, of course. They stormed into that lead against Italy. Only against Brazil. Brazil had 3 more shots for them in the game. It just shows how attacking they actually are and how awkward opponents they are. They're basing themselves in Sao Paulo as well, where there's 700,000 Japanese people from Japan, I should say. They're 8-13 not to qualify, which I think is quite a little bit disrespectful, really.
Sure.
And I think the 5-4 of them to qualify is definitely a bet. One thing I do like is 4-5 of them to collect over 3.5 points. They could easily qualify and could easily stay unbeaten in this group.
Interesting. The fourth and final team in this really tight group, and the outsiders of the group are at the 13-2 mark, and that is Greece. Outsiders, rank outsiders, 13-2. Now, where do you start with Greece? Where do you start? Because it's the 10th anniversary since their surprising and shocking win in Portugal in Euro 2004, but their World Cup record mark is abysmal.
It is, yeah. I like Greece. I think they get a lot of bad press. I mean, I love a team who makes the most of what they've got, and that's what Greece have perennially done, apart from in the World Cup, as you say. They're very well organised, very hard to beat. Coach Fernando Santos, a Portuguese guy who says he feels Greek, has tried to take them on to the next level, make them more attacking. They still slip back into their defensive ways, and I think that's shown in qualifying. They only scored 12 goals in 10 games, but in the playoff against Romania they scored 3 times, which was more than scored in a game in any other. Defensively, though, they are very, very strong. You just look at these stats here. 8 of their 10 games went under 2.5, 7 of which were 1-0, which is something to look out for, only conceding 4 goals, which is a joint best in European qualifying. Concerns about where the goals are going to come from. Kostas Mitroglou, the Fulham striker who started the season on fire at Olympiacos. His injuries, problems are basically ruined his season. An ageing midfield relying on Karagounis and Katsouras, who are 35 and 37 to create the goals. If they can avoid defeat to Colombia in the opening game, I think they could easily frustrate teams and go far in this competition, in this group at least. Very underrated. 15-2 to win the group, 9-4 to qualify, which does appeal. But begrudgingly, I've tried to find so many ways to get Greece on side. I think the only way is 29-20 to finish bottom. Wow. Contradictions there, I know.
Yeah. You've got to be with the prices, Mark. That's what's it's all about the odds, isn't it? Let's be honest. And Mark, what's important with regards to our promotion is we need to know you're 1-2 in Group C. You said it was the most open group in the competition, so who the heck are you having as your 1-2?
Well, Colombia have been the weakest odds-on favourites in the World Cup at Sportingbet so far, and I think you can find reasons to go against them, but I think they are going to probably win the group, so I'd have Colombia 1 and Japan 2.
That's it for Group C.